Hi, it's Lisa Cuneo and welcome to my scrapbook table. If you could see my literal scrapbook table right now, you would either laugh or cry. It is a complete mess because I have 1,000 things out and I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I'm going to give it a shot. It is Sunday, so that means it's Scraplift Crafternoon, and here is the amazing page we are scraplifting. It is by Claire, who is Scrappy Soulmate on Instagram, and her information will be in the description box. She's got this is a very center focused layout. She has 2 small photos. They are framed. She's using florals and lots of soft colors, and then the pink stands out nicely. And there's a little bit of mixed media, it looks like, going on in the background there. So I am using it for something completely different, not floral soft at all. Here's what I have. Okay. I have these 2 photos. This was when Dan and I arrived in New York City. We parked in New Jersey, we took the train, and this is the transportation hub at the World Trade Center. And I loved the architecture, and I wanted to capture a photo of us. We only have a couple photos of us from that whole trip. I don't know why. It's very frustrating now. Anyway, so those are the 2 photos I'm going to use. I don't think I'm going to trim them down to squares like are on the inspiration piece. I think I'm going to go with this. And here's where this idea came from. I have this piece of 49 and market paper, which I absolutely love. It feels very industrial and architectural to me, and I thought it fit this theme, for lack of a better word, very well. But I don't like the color. I feel like the color isn't right. So I thought of going with something totally different. But here's what I think I'm going to do. Okay, this is just a practice. This is just scrap paper. I'm going to practice on it. But I think I'm going to use my mixed media type stamps to create a background. I haven't done this for a long time. I took a class from Janet Fritz and MK Gunn a couple years ago about mixed media. And I learned a lot. I'm not good at this sort of mixed media. So I have no idea if it's going to turn out nicely or if I'm going to throw it in the garbage and start over. But we will see. So my thought is to use some of these various stamps, not the floral things from here, but there are some industrial building type things. I have this new one from All and Create. This is a hodgepodge of old Stampin' Up! Ones. I have this gorgeous grunge that was a Stampin' Up! Set from, there's no year on it. Sorry, I don't know. I also thought I might use this old-fashioned camera. I like that, and it kind of fits the theme to me. And there's also an arrow, a hand pointing, that I have. This is an old Close to My Heart Stamp of the Month one. So I pulled out my VersaFine Claire Morning Mist. I chose this one because it's almost dry. I don't want bold images. I want a soft background. So I'm going to play and just give it a shot on this. And then my plan is to use, I have a couple brick stencils for the center, or this herringbone, or I have 2 versions of this one from Scrapping Reflections. I believe this one was designed by MK, and I have the 6x6 and the 12x12. So that's what I'm going to, once the stamping is done, I am going to just use some oxides and brush some ink over the center. So I'm going to practice first. I'm not going to practice on camera. If it works out, I will do the real page on camera. I think I'm brave enough to do that. Okay, bye for now. I am back, and I decided before I do the mixed media, I need to have an idea where the triangles are going to go. So I go ahead and assemble them. They're made out of 5.5-inch squares, and then I think maybe 3 3/4 or something like that. And I just knew I didn't want them to span the whole 12 inches. And then I just use a pencil and go around. So I roughly know where I want this mixed media to go. And I switched out a plain white background for this grid. It's from 49M Market's Nature Study Ledger paper collection. I love graph paper. It's one of my favorite things. I remember being a little kid and my dad brought a few pieces of graph paper home from work, and I thought it was the best thing ever. And I still love it now. Sorry that my head is getting in the way here, but I had to see where these stamps were going, and yeah. So I'm just going to apologize now for all of it, because it's going to happen over and over. These are, like I said, just some stamps from random sets. This is an old Stampin' Up! Set on the wood blocks there. There were some clocks and gears in a set. And a lot of these sets, I've only kept the pieces that I really felt I would use. And all my mixed media stamps are stored together in one bin on my shelf. So I've just reached for that. And today I just went through and looked for anything that felt urban, construction, road, I don't know, travel, just whatever fit that I felt fit this theme for me. And there I got off my foam mat a little bit, so I had to pull that over. And then the last thing I did was pull out this little small stamp and just fill in a few gaps. Oh, that wasn't the last thing I did. This is from the grunge set. I don't remember what, Gorgeous Grunge, I think, from Stampin' Up. And I really like these lines. And even though there are lines on the paper, I wanted to add these. And I just tested it out there in the middle where I know it's going to be covered, so that I could tell ahead of time if I liked it. And I decided to use Faded Jeans, which is, that's an oxide that I have, and I like what that added to this. And the last thing, maybe, I take Faded Jeans and Weathered Wood and just alternately use them to add a little bit of shading around where those triangles are going to go, just kind of to add a shadow, a little bit of a halo effect. And when I'm doing this with a brush, I like to have some scrap nearby that I can, if I'm worried about I'm going to get a big glob, I just rub it off on there first. And now I'm going, and I know it looks like a hot mess, but usually when I'm doing mixed media, I realize it looks awful in the middle, but I almost always end up liking it when I'm done. So at this moment, I'm still just hoping that that moment is going to come, that I'm going to like it once it's put together. So now it's time to put these triangles on. I really didn't need the ruler, I realized, because there are good lines on this paper. Sometimes you can't trust grid paper, but 49M Market is usually good. I needed it a little darker there. And I did bump the larger triangles up on Fun Foam. I think that was done in the original. I couldn't tell for sure. And so there we go. And I'm erasing a few pencil marks that were still showing. And now I'm going to get my photos on. You can see I've matted them. One is a blue. It's from Rust and Revs. It looks like heavy denim. And I didn't see myself ever using a full sheet of that, but it has been perfect for some accent pieces on this layout. That's a stamp that says like New York City 3 cents or something, and there's a Statue of Liberty on there. And I used it in gray on the background, but I wanted that to be part of my embellishment clusters. So I stamped 2 of those in faded jeans. And I went through my drawers and pulled out anything I could find that I thought could work on here. And I used some metal embellishments. I have some brads that look like screw tips. I cut a couple little tags in the denim blue paper. I only end up using one of those. I pulled out a little metal tag that says peace, and I did use that on here. And I still felt like I was needing something, so I pulled a set of dies, from Elizabeth Craft Designs, and cut out some arrows and layered them up, and this strip of arrows that's going to go on the bottom here. And I think that added to the layout. I just needed a few more things, and I don't have anything, like I don't have a kit that fits this theme or something, so I had to create some things myself and think outside the box a little bit. And now I'm deciding what's going to go where. In the meantime, I don't show you me doing the journaling on camera, but I did do quite a bit of journaling below the picture of Dan and I. A pretty good paragraph there about our the start of our day. And I love journaling on paper like this because it's really easy to keep it straight. Please know that in the description box below, there will be a playlist and links to all the people who participate in Scraplift Crafternoon. You can check them out. Please give them some support. It does take a lot of work to create content for our channels, and everyone appreciates it when viewers make a little comment, even if it's something as simple as thanks for sharing, or great page today, or I really liked the paper, or something like that. It makes our day. So I have these little metal compasses, and I end up only using one, but I have had them for ages. I think they came from MK's shop, Some Assemblage Required, but I am not positive. But it was perfect to get one on this page. And I used one of the brads to put through the tag there. I also used one to adhere the piece tag. I decided to put this row of arrows over some of the blue paper to bring that blue down into this corner. It was a little bit long, so I trimmed it off. And for having absolutely no idea what I was going to do for this layout, I'm happy with how it turned out. I was thinking of putting the globe there, but I didn't like that it kind of blended in with the arrow it was sitting on. So I ended up, you'll see in a moment, I ended up inking it in some white ink. And I feel like that is better. So I just push it down into this unicorn white ink from Hero Arts with my pokey tool. I still ended up with ink on my fingers. And there it goes. I did the same with a little camera, which you'll see in a moment. And the still shots are coming up in just a moment. Thanks so much for being here today. I'm really glad that you stopped to watch. I know this video was a little bit longer than usual. I hope that's all right and that you still enjoyed it. Please join us in watching those who helped make the hop this week. And I hope you have a great day and get to scrapbook something of your own very, very soon. Here come the still shots, and thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.